Cool. So that takes care of the first round. Aaron, I want to ask you, how do you see the bracket playing out? Let's play a little game here. So last week we made some predictions on how we see the semifinals playing out. You mentioned it would be Texas Tech versus Indiana, and then Ohio State versus UGA. I said it would be Oregon versus Oklahoma, and then UGA versus Ohio State. So we kind of disagreed on one half of it and agreed on the other half. Do you still agree with those semifinals?
Yes, I do. Do you want me to, I guess, walk through my quarterfinals and like reasoning for that?
Yeah, let's definitely get into that. I would just like to say my Oregon Oklahoma matchup in the semifinals. As I was diving a little bit deeper into it, I am a little shaky on the Oklahoma pick. I'm not sure if they'll be able to beat Indiana, but if we ball, I'm gonna go Oklahoma. If I'm right, I'm right. But go ahead,
Fair.
tell me how we get there. What are your thoughts on how we
Yeah.
get there?
So, like you said, the bottom two teams in the playoff bracket, I don't think they have a fair chance against Oregon or Ole Miss. So
Yeah,
just gonna push those games up. Um, we already talked about Texas A&M. I think they'll be the better team, and they'll play Ohio State. And then again, I think Bama's gonna bounce back in this game against Oklahoma, and I think they're gonna find a way to win. Uh, so I have my quarterfinals set for Oregon, Texas Tech, Bama, Indiana, Ole Miss, UGA, and Texas A&M and Ohio State. Um, of those matchups, first with Oregon and Texas Tech, I think Texas Tech is still being, undervalued and underrated in a lot of these predictions I see. I
yeah,
think they're going to prove a lot of people wrong, and I think they're going to respectfully. I think they're going to punch this Oregon team in the face in terms of explosiveness on offense and stopping them on defense.
yeah. It's been
So
done before, right? That's
yeah,
how
so I
Indiana
got
was able to win.
exactly. So I got Texas Tech winning there for the Bama Indy game. I think it's going to be closer than people think. But Indiana, they're top rated for a reason. They've proven they can hang with great teams, so they're going to win this one. Ole Miss UGA, that'll be a rematch. I think UGA will win more comfortably there. It'll be lower scoring because UGA's defense has improved so much, and I think they'll win that game. And then lastly, Texas A&M, Ohio State. I think that one will be higher scoring than people will think. Uh, Ohio State, they haven't really had to score a lot this season, but I think they will have to score more than they are used to in this game. But I think
Hmm.
they'll find a way to win. And so that will get me to the same semis that I had. I had Texas Tech and Indy, and then Ohio State, Georgia.
Cool. Cool. And we'll give our natty picks in just a moment. So let's play out my scenario here. Oregon, Texas Tech. So Oregon is a much bigger, physical, faster team than probably anyone Texas Tech has faced. They have a very balanced offensive attack. I think they end the Red Raiders season here. Although now that I hear how was Indiana able to beat Oregon? Um, Elite defensive line and linebacker play, and the Red Raiders have their linebacker won the linebacker award, so they have the best linebacker in the country, right? So I don't know. Now I'm kind of questioning it. I'll keep my pick, but that might be a way Oregon kind of stumbles there. Moving on to the next game, OU versus Indiana. The Heisman, winner Fernando Mendoza, he's already made short work of the top two defenses in the country, that being Ohio State and Oregon, respectively, in total yards given up. Now he's going to go up against another top 10 defense. How Oklahoma plays defense is a little different than those other teams that I mentioned. Oklahoma shuts down the run game better than those two teams that I mentioned before in the Big Ten. Indiana has an okay, not great run game. Oklahoma has the opportunity to make Indiana more one-dimensional than any team has before this season. Um, Aaron, I'm about to get into some third down statistics. OU defense has a third down conversion rate of 29%, so under a third of your drives are making it past third down. That ranks them sixth nationally. So I think a lot of Fernando Mendoza's drives will be cut short. Um, with that being said, I think Oklahoma is able to win a squeaker. We've seen some games where Indiana can't score much. namely the Big Ten championship game. So it won't take many. It doesn't have to take a lot of points to beat Indiana, even though they have what the most points scored per game, in the country. So I think Oklahoma will be able to squeak one out there. Similar. Moving on to the Ole Miss UGA rematch. Similar things that you said. Ole Miss is Ole Missing their head coach, so I don't see them getting past Georgia if Georgia continues to play the dominant defense that we saw them play in the fourth quarter against Trinidad Chambliss the first time they played, and that's the brand of defense that they've been playing since then. So if we extrapolate that a little bit, I think Georgia wins that one more comfortably than they did the first time. Texas A&M, Ohio State. If there's a team that's going to make Marcel Reed to get him to make bad decisions that we've seen a few times throughout this season, I think it's Ohio State, throughout the rest of his playoffs. Ohio State is great at disguising their coverages. That might be a long night for Marcel Reed. And so my semifinals is back to Oregon, Oklahoma, UGA, Ohio State. For Natty picks, let's play out how we think the semifinals are going to go. I went back into the notes again, Aaron, to see who we picked for our national championship picks. I had picked UGA. You had picked Penn State. Now, in a different universe, Penn State could have been here for sure. Maybe not after losing that second or third game, but in a world, they could have been here. So, I think you gave your semifinals first. So let me play through my semifinals and natty picks. So, I think Oklahoma's run of defensively winning games ends there. I think Oregon will be able to overpower Oklahoma at this point, so they'll make it to the finals. UGA, Ohio State. I'm gonna have to pull my fandom out a little bit. I think UGA, the way that they've been ascending, it will be able to take care of Ohio State and rattle Julian Sand. I think that's how Indiana was able to win the game, especially and have them score such little points. That's how Texas was able to reduce the amount of points that Ohio State was able to score. Yes, it was Julian Sand's first game, but they were able to keep him at bay, bother him a lot. And so I think UGA can do that. And yeah, so I think UGA will win that one. So now we got Oregon versus UGA. And I said it in episode 1 of this show that I put money on 3 teams to win the Natty: Oregon, UGA, and Texas. Texas is definitely out. So I'm a winner either way, but I think Dan Lanning has a Kirby Smart problem. I think that will weigh on him, and so UGA will win another Natty. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'll go back to my semifinals. So I got Texas Tech, Indiana. Going to be a high-scoring, explosive game, but Indiana is going to be the more explosive team. They'll win that game. Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winner of the year, is going to shine in that game, I think, and they'll beat this Texas Tech team. On the other side, the tougher matchup is going to be Ohio State, UGA, where I think it's going to be so close. But the team that we've seen win these close games and, figure it out and have some type of separation, whether it's special teams or defense or just this play or that play, it always seems to be UGA. And so because they've been in these moments all year where they know how to win close games like this, I have them winning that game. So my national championship matchup is going to be Indiana versus UGA. I may pull up my fandom a little bit here because Indiana, I mean, they're blemish free. It's hard to say that a team that hasn't been beaten is going to be beat, but I think because Georgia has been one of the hottest teams coming into the college football playoff, that they will find a way to win, and they will be national champions as well.